Well, guys, welcome to this next series and new series of Overland Australia Adventures. This one going to be a little bit different because we'll explain in a minute what we're actually up to. But yeah, this a little bit later getting away today than we normally do.
We were planning on getting away yesterday,
Yeah,
and then we found out that the reversing camera was coming from Tasmania. Let me just put this down a little bit. The reversing camera coming from Tasmania was going to turn up today. So we decided we'd wait because we had the tracking on it and it definitely said it was coming today.
and we've had for those that are not aware, we
In
had
1.5 kilometers,
Wait a minute, we're going to
to
turn
left
off.
lane, left to Tuckamble Road,
We-
Robbie Casino,
Okay, we'll do that.
roundabout,
Yes,
straight.
I know there's a roundabout. We'll do that. So we've had some issues with the camera that went on the van, and it had to go back to the suppliers and we checked and whatever for warranty, and yeah, they've sent us a new one. So that's the hold up, and the fact that we're going to be away for probably a month thereabouts.
Yeah,
It was worth waiting that day for it.
definitely. Yes.
All right. So Liz, what are we up to?
So today because we've left late, we're going to get off here and
Next
head
left to
into.
Tuckamble Road to Woodburn, Robbie
Yep,
Casino.
we're going to Black Rocks.
Then at the
Campground.
roundabout, continue straight south.
Yeah, one of our favourites.
Yes.
So it's about look,
Three,
it wouldn't be,
three
yeah, it wouldn't be much change out of 3 hours for us. Traffic was a bit bogged up at the Gold Coast, which is pretty normal coming south. So
Continue straight.
we've got that all sorted and such now, and yeah, so we're not far out of Black Rocks.
No. So that'll be our stop for the night. And tomorrow we're going to do a bit of a big push because we want to get to Karua.
Yeah, we want to go back there. For those that will have remembered, we stayed there on the way down to pick the van up.
Continue straight for 30
And-
minutes to Black Rocks campsite.
And it was just a cracking spot. So we're gonna pop back down there and we'll stay with another night there, and then
One of the caravan
one of the
parks.
caravan parks. So and then we'll work our way further south. The rest of it is a little unsure. We've got some dates and some places we've got to be. So ultimately this trip is about the Titanium Owners Rally. So we're going to go to our first one of those, and we've given ourselves 10 days to
Yep.
get to meet up with the rest of the crew
Somewhere in Gippsland.
somewhere in Gippsland, and then we'll go from there to Bright to the actual function for the weekend, and then we're going to come back and we're going to work our way home. We've got to be home for Melissa's birthday this year. We got into all sorts of trouble because we were away last year for a birthday, so we promised that we would be home for that.
Which is just before Easter.
Which is just before Easter. Yeah, she was an Easter baby. So that's on the 12th. So we've got to make sure that we're home for that,
Which we will be.
which we will be. And then we've got some other stuff happening after that. But that's just the very basic thing of what we're up to. So we're going to call in here. We've got a old mate here has wood for sale. It's good wood, it's cheap, and it's just easy to pick up here. And we're going to do that, and then heading to Black Rocks. So we might catch you guys a little bit later when we get set up. How about that? All right.
Okay, sounds great.
See you then.
Bye.
We've arrived, set up in camp number 13. Got a nice little, so it's one of their new drive-through sites. So we've just driven in, put the rear stabilisers down to steady the thing up. Tea's on. We're having a spag bowl tonight. We've had some tomatoes in the fridge at home that we're starting to get to their use by. A little bit soft. So we've got a bit of mince we'll throw in there, some onion, tomato, and some pasta sauce, and away we go. All right, we'll leave you guys with it, and we're going to settle in, have this, probably a couple of quiet bevies. I've got a bit of wood, I'll have a little fire later on, and see you guys in the morning. Wonderful. It's great to be back out on the road again. Well, the first thing this morning was to fit this new camera. Right, shall we just plug it in? So we get the new camera. I've never been so happy to see your face. Yes, it's working. It is upside down, so we just got to turn the camera over in the bracket. But yes, I'll be able to see what's behind me again now. It's always a worry. You sort of think that's what the problem was, send it away. The other camera obviously wasn't compatible and just failed. So now we've got the right camera for it, so happy days, goody. So I'll get in and fix this up properly. It's not long and we're back on the highway, making our way further south.
How to reach for the city lines. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for some.
Morning. What a magical place to start the day. We're in Port Stephens, Kurua, I think it's pronounced. If you followed us before, remember this is where we actually stopped when we went down to pick the van up. And one of the reasons, you will find this funny, one of the reasons that we really wanted to stop here is the RSL Club just had the best food. And so we booked into the caravan park. We pretty well around a six-hour drive yesterday, and pretty drive. Came all the way from Black Rocks, and some of the murals that on the overpasses, they've started to pop some murals up there. I don't know how long they've been there, but quite interesting. and just helps to break the drive a little bit. We copped a little bit of everything, got a bit of rain, but overall it was pretty smooth sailing. And as I said, we turned up at Karua and got set up, went for dinner. Something disagreed with Mama Bear, so we've had a bit of a cleansing evening. I think we could call it that. But seems all good this morning. Had a good night's sleep, so we should be right to move on today. So yeah, we're at this lovely little jetty. It backs out from the caravan park. Looks like there's a boat there that didn't put the bungs in. In actual fact, when you look at close up, there's no nose missing. The nose, I'm sorry, is missing off the front of the boat. So it's come to some misfortune. One would suggest break a mooring or something to that effect. So today, this is going to be quite interesting because we're going to a place called We Don't Know Where. So we're going to go back, have a bit of brekkie, head off, and the plan is to get the other side of Sydney, so down round Wollongong, and then head back in towards the coast and follow the coast down into Victoria over the next few days. So today's Thursday, so we might have to be a little bit sus because we've coming up to the weekend. I would have thought there'd be some holiday weekenders and things that'd be kicking around. We may have to book somewhere. We did throw a bit of a thing out on the Titanium Facebook. Anyone that had any clues, ideas in places that might be worth going to camp on their way down through there. So we've got to check that this morning, see if we've got any responses from that. All right, well, we're going to leave you there and we'll catch you guys on the road. Cheers. After a quick lunch stop, we were back on the move again. Well, here we are. We've arrived at Shell Harbour. Can't believe how hard it is to find accommodation. Everything is booked out. We've managed to find a spot at the Surfrider caravan park. Now this place is full of lots and lots of permanents, and just what they've done is just put vans in between some of the permanent sites. So this will do us, but we can only get 2 nights. So it's Thursday night, Friday night. We've got to leave here on Saturday. We've left a couple of messages with a couple of other places, but there is so much to do here. We didn't realise. So tomorrow is going to be full on, and to try and do some of the things that we want to do, and then hopefully we can get some accommodation not that far away so we can actually work the southern end of where we are. But that's what happens, I guess, when you don't book. But we didn't think we'd need to. Like, it's not school holidays. There's always that doubt coming up into the weekend. So it's just what it is. Well, one thing I did forget to mention this morning when we had our little debrief was the fact that somebody won a raffle last night at the hotel. Always contribute a bit to some of the local sports clubs, and we won a little seafood platter, some oysters, a little crayfish, and 8-10 prawns, something like that. Yeah, so we've just nailed them this afternoon with a little white wine, as you do. So that's about it. That's just sort of a bit of an update. So tomorrow we'll be full on around the Shellharbour area. But there's just, called in, as we do, to the information centre to get the draft or the gab of what the best things to do while you're here. A bit of the lay of the land, and they've just given us some absolutely sensational things that hopefully, if the weather's nice, should be great. All right, well, we've got a bit of, what are we having for tea, Liz?
Chicken. We're having chicken, beans and sauce. Can't remember what it's called, but we'll have it.
There you go. All right, well, we might, if we remember, we'll take a photo of what we have for tea. We've got a habit of forgetting to do those sort of things. And then let you know what happens tomorrow. See you guys. Leaving the van back in the caravan park, we head off to our first stop. Right, so we're going to head off up to the Cascades. 2 kilometre return. It says it's easy, about 30 minutes. So I'll go up and have a look at this waterfall so we can get some photos. So that twists all the way from the bottom, all the way up into the top. Well, we must be getting close, because now you can start to hear the sound of the waterfall in the distance. Liz had finally got a set of ND filters for a camera and was eager to try them out. Whilst we had done some long exposures before, we've always been limited by the amount of light. These will allow her to take these type of images any time of the day. I've attached a couple of what we think are the better ones. Talking about getting serious now, have a look at this. Trying the shit out of me, brother. Look what we found. It's not every day that you get to sit in the cockpit of a Huey Cobra attack helicopter. Located at the Shellharbour Airport is the Haas Aviation Museum. Haas standing for Historical Aviation Restoration Society. It was formed in 1979 by a group of aviation enthusiasts interested in the preservation of Australian aviation history. The members virtually traversed the Australian continent from Tasmania to Columbaroo in the northwest and from Cape Llewellyn to Cape York in search of aviation artefacts. One defining event in the recent history of Haas has been the arrival of a Boeing 747-400, City of Canberra. This aircraft means so much to many of the members who maintained and operated it during its life at Qantas. This aircraft was the first to travel from London to Sydney non-stop, covering just over 18,000 kilometres in 20 hours and 9 minutes. The tour is conducted by some very passionate aviation personnel, sharing some historical stories of the aircraft within the precinct.
Pioneer, as in twin engines. Well, it's the only one in the world that still flies.
Wow.
It was used all over the British Isles as kind of a flying bus. But 30 of these Catalinas were given a special job of trying to cripple Japanese shipping, because the Japanese were taking all the raw materials from these islands they had conquered.
We had lunch in the cafe and spent the afternoon watching, looking and immersing ourselves in the history of the aircraft on display. If you're interested in this sort of thing, then this one is a winner in my books.
Well, I did say last night that we're going to have a pretty hectic day today, and we sure have. So we got up, we went up to the falls. That was awesome. We would have spent, I don't know how long we were up there, to be honest. Liz, I'll drop in a few photos. Liz started playing with the ND filters and long exposures. I think we got some really nice ones as a bit of a starter. And then from there we came down, we had a bit of lunch, and then we went to the Aviation Museum, and that was absolutely fantastic. Now, those that have watched some previous episodes will know that, you know, I'm into this sort of stuff, and we've had, I don't know how many we would have been to over the years. And I've got to tell you, this one was a cracker. It's guided because it's actually a working restoration area. There's guides that actually walk you through. The mechanics and technicians are working on the aircraft that are there. Sorry about the road noise. The finale is that you actually get to walk up into the 747. So that was sensational. We really enjoyed that. What were you say? Bangers and mash? No, it's not bangers and mash tonight. We're going to have some sausages we picked up at the supermarket and some boiled potatoes, boiled vegetables. But all in all, it's been an awesome day. We've found somewhere to stay tomorrow night. That was a bit of an issue. We can get in on Sunday, lots of places. Saturday was a problem. You know, I just got to give these sausages a bit of a turn. Yeah, it's not far away now. Just cut that one. It's starting to, yeah, they're pretty close. I'll turn that off. But that's right, bangers and mash. So we're having sausages and boiled potatoes and some carrots and peas. Be nice little dinner tonight. Tomorrow we have to vacate our site, so we're going to hopefully get up early. We want to go a walk, go down to the beach, around the waterside and have a bit of a look around the marina. Back, pick up a couple of groceries, hook up, and then we're heading to a farm stay, hip camp at just outside of Merimbula. So about 4.5 hours. That'll be cool. Looking forward to that. Go to set up there. We've booked for 3 days, I think. We could potentially extend that depending on what it's like. So, all right, guys, crack a day. We'll leave you with it. We'll speak soon. Bye.
Morning, John.
Morning, Liz.
Well, Shellharbour done.
Another beautiful day on the south coast of New South Wales.
Yes.
Yeah, Shellharbour, nice spot. Shame we couldn't
In
stay longer.
7.3
There was a fair bit to do,
At roundabout,
and we just couldn't get
straight.
accommodation for any more than a couple of nights.
Yeah, I know. It's a real shame because there's, as you said, lots to do.
And there's nothing really on. They just don't have the facilities. But anyway, 4 caravan parks. Still couldn't get a spot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're moving on today, and we're heading down to.
Billingandy Station, which is a hip camp,
Yep.
just out of Merimbula, I believe.
So this was came up on the Titanium owners. Somebody took a couple of photos, and we're like, well, we started to try and get some accommodation a bit further down. We tried Kiama, we tried a few other places down the coast, and they were all the same. And so we thought, we'll give these guys a shot,
Yes.
and they have got space. So we've booked that for a few nights, and we'll use that as a bit of a base so we can have a look around Merimbula and the surrounding areas.
Yes, that'd be good.
It'll be awesome. This road takes you through some stunning scenery, including lush green farmland, coastal beaches, seaside villages, and over some of the most beautiful turquoise water we have ever seen.
We're at Millingandy Station, a beautiful hip camp. Absolutely gorgeous, pristine waterways. Mosquitoes are a bit thick at night, but you know, got to take the good with the bad.
Millingandy Station is nestled between the coastal holiday hamlets of Pambula and Merimbula. This unique tidal waterfront acreage has flat, open, grassy spaces, sealed road access, and is within a few easy kilometres of all the amenities, shops and beaches these villages have to offer. The property has 2 areas to choose from. The paddock sites, which are powered and unpowered, are located approximately 250 metres from the river, which are accessible by foot or by car. We booked a site at Pelican's Rest, which is right on the river. We had 3 days here in which to explore the property, Pambula Village's boutique shops, eateries and microbrewery. After leaving the information centre, we did a couple of walks around Merimbula, then out to Pambula Beach for a look, followed by some beer tasting at the Long Stocking Brewery, and then it was off to Wheeler's Seafood Restaurant for a seafood lunch. Then back to camp for a lazy afternoon.
John, what have you got there?
Well, we picked up a couple of lamb shanks the other day at the supermarket, and they were enormous and they looked really, really nice. And it's so long since we've done a chili or an apricot chili lamb shank, and we thought, what better place to do it than here? So we're about to bulge into it.